Saturday night.
Time for your weekly dose of pop culture
With Kathy and Kenny. Welcome to the show.
That was scary. Welcome. It is Saturday night. It is Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us on a Saturday night. I am Kathy along with
Kenny.
And basically we come together every Saturday night to hang out with you guys, the pop culture kids, to talk pop culture and to talk different things. And tonight is all things the Batman, and not so much the latest movie, but I guess we got into a conversation last week about all things Batman. But before we go there, Kenny, how are you doing? How is your week? How's your life? How are things?
Life is up in Jersey. Life is cold.
Did you guys get snow?
We had some snow today in Jersey.
Wow.
And it didn't really stuck to some of the grass, but we are cold here. It is freezing outside, considering yesterday was in the 50s.
Yesterday was in the 50s?
It was the high 50s or 60s or something yesterday.
And that's cold?
Yesterday. It was nice the day before yesterday, and now today it's like freezing. And tomorrow I think it's supposed to be cold, but getting warmer. And then I think next week is supposed to go back up to high temperatures again.
It's like a roller coaster ride.
I started a new open mic on Tuesday nights that I'm hosting, and Brothers Kitchen in Glendora, New Jersey on Tuesday nights. We're doing that every Tuesday night. And tomorrow we're shooting a video for Words Out Productions. And, and I just got, I can't give out too much information now, but just got word that I'm going to be hosting another open mic somewhere in South Jersey.
Okay, sweet. So when you know, you'll let us know, and we will let all you guys know. So for those of you who are in the Philadelphia, South Jersey area, you can check out one of those events. And again, Kenny's production company is Words Out Productions, and they focus on spoken word. So again, if that's your thing, if that's your vibe, if that's your groove, then Kenny is your go-to person.
We also have neo soul singers and some rappers too. Thomas, we saw the new Batman movie. We're going to be talking about that today.
Yes,
in fact, I don't know why he's always saying his name, but that's my man Dave. Dave Harris. He's a very gifted poet, and we do Poetry Month. We're going to have him back on here. How was your week? Because you were off this week, weren't you?
I was off, but I actually went in. So I worked a couple of days, which I know doesn't make for a great spring break. But I did get to take my trip to the mountains, and I got to go to Stone Mountain Park, take some pictures, play with all my cameras and photography stuff, and that was kind of cool. And I posted a few pictures, but you know what? The best pictures and video I got was not from the fancy, highfalutin camera. You know where it was from?
Where?
My phone. So anyway, they always said, the best camera is the one you have, and my phone was just awesome. So
I saw you were in the mountains eating lunch. What did you eat in the mountains?
Oh, well, I just packed.
Where was Yogi Bear to come take your picnic basket?
My picnic basket. It was actually literally just a couple of oranges, some pieces of cheese, some nuts, and some raisins.
So you was out there eating like a squirrel. You was eating like a rabbit.
Okay, you got jokes. I'm
asking you a question. Nice. I need to know.
Nice. All right. Huh? No, I mean, again, because I actually had a backpack full of like camera equipment, because I took a couple different lenses, and I was going to try to do all these fancy shots and even a little tripod. And actually it was kind of overcast, and actually I just kept it moving, and I really didn't like set up shots and things.
I thought for photography, overcast was the best time to take pictures.
Well, and it was quite nice, but I don't know. I think I probably overshot. what I was actually going to shoot. So I thought about it a little too much, and so.
You run into any students and kids?
No, and actually, because I went I tried to go up on a weekend, and the park was closed, or at least they had reached capacity, stopped letting people in. So I actually went on a weekday, so it was much just fewer folks, so it was nice, and not that many people around, and you could actually hear your footsteps in the woods, and it's like a nice little time to like sit and reflect. I got to sit and write a little bit. I had lunch over by the falls, and it was quite nice. And usually I would walk the whole trail, which is about a 4-mile trail. I only walked like about 2 miles up to the falls and then back, so I still got the 4 miles in. I just didn't go around the whole the whole hike, and maybe I will another day, and maybe save it to do for like a weekend. But it, good stuff.
What was the weather like that day?
It was kind of overcast, but it was nice. It wasn't too cold or too hot. Okay. I had on a long sleeve shirt, but I wore a t-shirt under it. So after I was hiking a bit, I could take off the heavier shirt, wrap it around me, and just keep it moving.
Oh, you one of those? You just wrapped it around you and kept on going, huh?
And just keep it moving. Okay. Keep on moving, don't stop. No, keep on moving, don't stop.
I wanted to take a hike because we got mountains around here in Jersey. I wanted to take a hike one day.
And?
I wanted to. I lost the feeling. I wanted to, though. I didn't want to. The thought was there.
Well, before we get
something else you did this week, because our show is about Batman, and for the first time in a long time, you went to the theater.
I went to the theater, and you know what? I had purchased okay. All right. How much backstory do you need? Okay. One of the things I love to do. Well, for years when I was at Troutman Middle, the middle school, I know my favorite things I like. I know everybody doesn't like them, but I usually, I used to be really into award shows and the Oscars and movies and going to movies, seeing movies. So I would do like an Oscar poll, like whenever Oscar weekend was. And usually what I would give away to whoever got the most picks correct is like movie tickets, those $25 movie tickets to see to see a film. And I would do it when I was at Troutman. When I went to the high school, I didn't know whether they would be into it as much. And I think I actually purchased the tickets, but I didn't get, a lot of participation or people who wanted to do it. So I didn't get to do it like the first year at the high school. So I had these extra movie tickets, like Fandango movie tickets. So I actually was able to purchase my ticket online. I went to a matinee because I figured, hey, it won't be as crowded. So all that, anxiety about being in a crowded theater. And the cool thing was purchasing my ticket online, I got to pick my seats and I could see who was already, in the theater. And, that nice, center section was already taken, but I took like a front row, 3 or 4 seats in. But also cool is that the theater I went to, which is in Morristown, it's Mooresville down here. I'm thinking of Jersey. I got Jersey in my head now. But they have the reclining seats, so you're not going to have a bad seat. And I'm sorry, but man, if you want to get me back in the theater, you give me that nice reclining seat with the cup holder and the plus.
Well, just about all the theaters in Jersey have that. In the city, we got those.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I know y'all don't got too much in the country. Y'all used to sitting on haystacks, but in the city,
really. Don't go there. Anyway, but so that experience was great. Just, knowing I had the, reclining seats, the reserved seat. I was in a theater that was not crowded at all. When I went into the, although here's what tripped me out, because I went to a matinee. It was already cheaper. So it was like 10 something, but because I used the online ticket, they charged me a surtax or surcharge. I'm like, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Here I am trying to be the responsible one because, I'm not buying a physical ticket. So I'm saving trees because I'm using my phone to kind of scan. So why are you charging me more? Why the upcharge? But okay, let's put that aside. Let's wrap that in a box, sit it over here. I go to the, because I hadn't had lunch that day anyway. I'm figuring I'm going to a matinee. I won't eat because I'll grab some popcorn. I had a large popcorn and a bottle of water. And I did purchase the candy because I'm sorry, when they're popping fresh, hot popcorn and I watch them pop it, you want to pour a little bag of M&Ms in there. Okay, if you've never done it, don't judge.
Of course.
It's delish. Anyway, this little concoction cost me twice as much as the movie theater ticket. It was like $25. I paid over $5 for a 16-ounce bottle of water. Over $5. I felt violated. Okay, I got to come down now. It's just ridiculous. I'm like, don't they have matinee prices for the food?
See, when I went Sunday morning. So Sunday morning tickets here are like $7.50. So I bought 3 tickets for me, George, and Jesse, and we saw it. And when we got there,
and even those three tickets were cheaper than what I paid for concessions.
Yeah, and when we got there, they paid for my snacks.
Oh wow!
And
so
I was trying not to let them pay for my snacks because when it came up with the price and George was about to put his card in, I go, "Look, somebody came dressed up as Batman." He's like, "Really? Where?" And I got him to look the other way, and I was just about to put my card in so I could treat the kids to the snacks. And Jessie got me. She, no, don't even try it. I said, but he fell for it.
You almost had him. No, but here's the thing though. I kind of feel badly because I felt like, well, not badly, but I'm not going to say I wasted my first trip back to the theater on the Batman, but I just really wish I had a better choice, or I don't know, something that would have left me feeling a little lighter. Because man, that movie, you talk Dark Knight, that movie was very Dark Knight. Now, and again, if you haven't seen it, and before we talk about it, we want to just say hi and hello to the pop culture kids who are out there with us, who are always kind of hanging with us on Saturday night. Scooby Life, how are you? And again, your friend was here, a new pop culture kid. Welcome to the club. And of course,
Stevie's
in the house. And as always, Ed Brown. For those of you who don't know, now you know, our fact checker, our number one pop culture kid, the myth, the man, the legend.
And Dad's
Ed
in the
Brown.
house.
Okay.
Ed Brown.
Ed Brown is in the house. And of course, our dad is in the house. And usually he watches us on the big screen TV. So that's kind of cool.
Now, before we start on our Batman trope here about the, we're not going to, just in case, I'm going to say now, spoiler alert for the movie, just in case I slip. I might slip. It's been a week. Okay. It's been a week. I might slip.
It's been a week. Right. We don't mean to spoil. But at this point, it's not like it just came out this weekend.
No.
I think the diehard Batman fans have seen the movie. Hey, Kitty, well, here, you talk for a bit because I want to show you.
Okay. So, we're going to talk about Batman. And as we talk about Batman, I want to give you some history of Batman. Batman is a character that was created, and I think his first appearance was in 1939 in Detective Comics number 27. That was Batman's first appearance. Oh, what you got there?
I actually, after I left the movie, I went and well, one of the stores we have down here, Ollie's Good Stuff Cheap. So a lot, and they have
Ollie's. I didn't see that in Ollie's.
And they have like just a huge book section. And, for a relatively reasonable price, I was doing some reading up on the Batman. So I just thought, oh wait, this is what I need to know, because I guess even though I probably knew it and I forgot it, I didn't even realize DC stood for, Detective Comics, and it was number 27. I don't know if that's
number
coming in clear or not.
When he was first appeared. Now, Batman was created by two guys, Bob Kane and Bill Finger. Now, here's a real thing about it. Bill Finger just started getting recognized in the recent last few years on being a Batman creator after his death, because Bob Kane, was the only creator for a long while. And everybody thought that Bob Kane was it, but actually, Bill Finger was actually the person who I'm sorry.
Hello, I'll come back to us.
Somebody texted something. I'm just like, Bill Finger was actually the guy who did most of the artwork for me, and he was okay for all these years, staying in obscurity. He wasn't a flashy kind of guy that wanted the popularity anyway. But Bill Finger is also credited. Batman's first appearance was March 30th, 1939. And right after he was created in the 40s, they did serials. Now, there's a couple of guys that's not on anyone's list of Batman because we went recently, but in the 40s they did serials where you came every week to see the movie, and two serials that were done in the 40s were Batman serials, and one of the serials, a gentleman named Lewis Wilson played Batman, and another serial, a gentleman named Robert Lowry played Batman. And I had those. I own those. I had those. And
now, were they the serials that appeared like in the movie theaters?
Yeah, those are serials that appeared in the movie theaters, like the 15 minutes before the movie and this, that, and the other. Now we have 20 minutes of trailers
and commercials. I'm sorry, that's just a pet peeve of mine, because you know what? If I want to see commercials, I'd stay home and watch TV. I've already paid a ridiculous amount to be here, and an even more ridiculous amount for your concessions. I'm sorry, I got to let that concessions thing go. But and again, and that's my fault, because usually I will smuggle in my own M&Ms, but had I known they were going to charge me over $5 for a 16-ounce bottle of water, I would have smuggled in some water as well. Okay. I digress.
Woosah that. Woosah. I
got a woosah that.
Okay. So those guys with Batman, there's a lot of guys who play Batman in animation. There's one guy who played Batman on TV on HBO Titan show. I don't have his name in front of me, but he was a really bad, sucky Batman. But in any event, though, I will say one thing. In the 50s, the comic book sales started coming down. In the 40s, comic book sales were high, very high. In the 30s and 40s, late 30s and 40s, comic book sales were very high. In the 50s, comic book sales started coming down. And one of the few characters that made it through the 50s was Superman and Batman. And in the 50s and the beginning of the 60s, the comic books became a little campy. Therefore, it was a little serious, but slightly campy. And when in '66, when they started the Batman TV show, Adam West, they went totally campy, and a lot of comic book people didn't like that. But however, had you not had Adam West in the '60s doing Batman, he kind of resurged Batman up a little bit. And in the comic books, they started making them campy like they did the TV show. And then in the 70s, they went back to being serious with Batman in the 70s and having more deep content.
Even as I look through this book, Kenny, what I noticed too is even in the artwork, and I don't know if I can, it's kind of hard to tell, but even in the early artwork where you have the that it's colorful and it is part of that kind of camp. But then as you go on and as you go like further into it and further down, it was weird how it went from just being kind of colorful and oh wait, hold on. Let me go further in. But as it goes through the years, it seems like it got a little darker because when you get to like
when you got to the 70s, it got kind of darker.
Yeah, it gets darker. And even like the last few pages, it's like, you know, even
Robin
just
gets older.
artwork.
Dick Grayson Robin gets older. Everything gets a little darker. That is a lot of that, and it's a good thing it got darker because that kind of encompasses the way Batman is now. And a lot of that was a guy named Denny O'Neil who took over the comic book. And Denny O'Neil, when he took over the Batman books, he kind of set that darkness in the 70s, and he's known for that a lot. Yeah, back to the Batmans. I want to get back to our list and
all right,
and see who we
so
got.
So basically, of like the 7, and I guess there's 6 movie Batmans, and I think we also included the TV Batman, and that is
well, oddly enough,
mm-hmm.
Adam, the first Batman was a movie. Adam West did do a movie.
Okay, so he was a movie Batman.
Release movie, yes. Adam West did the release movie, and it had all the villains in it. Cesar Romero, Merges Barrett, all of them were in it, and everything else. And that's the one where he had the bat shark repellent.
Everything on that utility belt. There you go.
On that utility belt, man. That utility belt was fire, man. Like you didn't even have to know how to fight like Batman. You just wanted the utility belt.
Oh, you know what? I think, and again, in my AP days, I was like, I actually wanted to have I was like tempted almost to buy a tool belt to wear because it seems like there were so many different things I would need as I'm running through the building and doing, this, that, and the other thing. I almost felt like, oh, how cool would it be to have a utility belt?
You could have put like a big AP on your shirt and get a cape and some tights with a belt and ran around school.
APs as superheroes, and we are.
Oh, you know what I want to let you know?
Yeah.
You're right, Scooby Life. Those books do look cool, and I plan on coming down in June. I'm going to be taking them books back with me.
Now, see, I was going to send you the book. So
wait till I come down in June.
Because this one is The World of the Dark Knight. And again, this one had a lot of cool information and research about one of my favorite parts too is that it has a whole rogues gallery of some of the villains. And again, people know the Riddler, Mr. Freeze, Bane, Two-Face, the Penguin, Harley Quinn, and it was just, I don't know, that was kind of cool for my Batman education or re-education, but also to going through some of these books, I think was helpful too when you watch the new movie, because I think what has happened, at least in, I think recent history, the 2000s on, is that the folks who are making some of these movies, whether it's in the DC universe or the Marvel universe, are actually people kind of like you who have spent their childhood and youth reading these comics and really know the story arcs and can bring back and reference all these different things.
And Dave, AP stands for assistant principal.
Assistant principal,
yeah,
or as I shorten it, the aspirin, because that's what you need to do that job.
Now, okay, so let's talk about the new movie. What did you think of the new movie?
All right, so initially, I know the character, the Batman, is the Dark Knight, but I guess I had a problem. The movie was so dark. I'm like, what is this? Batman Goes to Sin City. I don't know if you remember that movie, the Frank
I do
Miller.
remember that movie. Yes, yes.
Because that's what it felt like. And I was just talking in terms of lighting. You know, it's like, let me see what's going on. It was just so um, dark, just in the filming. So that bothered me a bit. And as far as the story, I guess I needed more for the payoff. I needed more for the payoff because I think, and maybe this is because I also listened to, like, after I saw the movie, another kind of pop culture kid who checks in with us every once in a while, Hey Archer, they actually, Hey Archer, Aaron Waller, and a couple other guys, they were talking about the movie itself. And one thing they said, I totally agree with, it seems like it should have ended. Like, do we really need 3-hour movies? I mean, if you're giving me 3 quality hours, but it seems like there were a couple of times that movie needed to end, but for some reason they were like extending it out. Like they had to, make some kind of quota. We need 3 hours worth of movie. I just didn't think the payoff was worth it. I didn't think that, I thought Rob Pattinson was a decent Dark Knight. And I know people complain about too much Bruce Wayne, not enough Batman. I would have liked to have seen more Bruce Wayne in this particular movie. And again, I'm trying to allude to things without giving it away. For those of you who haven't seen it and still want to see it, I want your time to be enjoyable. But anytime I got to look at my watch during a movie, then I worry. Then I really worry. So
I
had to do that a couple times.
I did not look at my watch throughout the whole movie. I did not look at my phone time because I was immersed. Like I went with George and his wife. George took a bathroom break. His wife took a bathroom break. I was there. I was in it for the whole 3 hours. I wasn't leaving. If I had to pee, I was holding it. I was not leaving my
So this is a movie you could have wore a diaper for.
Okay, let's go there. Yeah. But I mean, here's what I'm saying. Here's what I liked about this movie. Without giving too much away, here's what I like about this movie that I like better than the other Batman movies.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first movie where Batman was actually a detective. Because Batman is known as the world's greatest detective. That's one of his things that he's known for. The world's greatest detective, the Dark Knight, the world's greatest detective. That's why he premiered in Detective Comics. He's a detective. In this movie, he was actually being a detective and figuring things out and how to do this and trying to figure out the next move. And I loved it because I'm sitting there watching it, and some of the riddles that they were giving, I was figuring out before even the Batman on screen were figuring it out because I'm like, oh yeah, justice, that's the answer. And it was like, okay. And I was getting all that stuff. But I love a detective that could kick everybody's butt because that's what he was doing. He was kicking everybody's butt. So I liked it. Now, as far as this Bruce Wayne goes, I see where there's room for improvement on the Bruce Wayne. But if you remember,
did you hardly even see the Bruce Wayne?
You saw the Bruce Wayne. But Alfred did complain about him being Batman too much at one point. And he'd only been Batman for 2 years. So this is like the beginning of him being Batman and him not knowing how to balance Bruce Wayne and Batman. And I think this movie did such a good had such a good income. And I didn't see what the income was for this one, but I think the movie has such good income from this that they'll probably do a Batman #2 with Pattinson. And when they do that Batman #2 with Pattinson, I think you will see more
of the Bruce Wayne side of the story.
Playboy and not this emo Bruce Wayne walking around with his hair all over his eyes and everything. That you're not going to see that.
That's good. Emo Bruce Wayne. I hadn't heard emo in a while.
Yeah, emo Bruce Wayne. But let's get to our list. Number 7. I guess Ed didn't see the movie, so he didn't do number 7. We're going to do number 7, And your number 7 is.
Christian Bale. I just don't like him.
And my number 7
I'm
is
sorry.
George Clooney.
I know everybody hates George Clooney. I like George Clooney. I don't like Christian Bale. So
Yeah, I don't like Christian Bale either.
I'm
I
like,
had a couple of problems with the.
Maybe it's because they had that clip of him like yelling at the key grips and the people on the set. And it's like, dude, get over yourself. You're nothing but a child actor. So just be thankful for what you got and stop yelling at the little people. I'm sorry. You're the little person.
One thing I didn't like, Kristen Bale was my number 6. And the one thing I didn't like about Kristen Bale's in Nolan's Batman was that they took it's like they knew the Batman character, but they didn't read any of the books.
Mm.
And there were a couple of things that they did wrong. Like in the first one, Ra's al Ghul was the villain. And Ra's al Ghul is known in the comic books for calling Batman and Bruce Wayne, knowing who they are, and calling Batman the detective.
Okay.
So that didn't happen in that one. And then in the last one with Kristen Bale, he flies off and leaves the Batcave to some unknown guy he barely knows, never trained, and he's off in Paris drinking my tea or whatever, or champagne,
Mai Tai,
with Mai Tais or tea or whatever, with Catwoman on the Riviera. I don't know, but that's not something the Batman, even in that storyline.
But now, when we're talking about the actors, is it now? How do you separate that from the movie? Because I know you put as your worst Batman or your lowest pick, you put George Clooney.
Because he smiled too much. Even
Okay.
Adam West, the campy Batman, didn't smile as much as George Clooney smiled. Okay? It was all about George Clooney being cheesy. Even George Clooney doesn't like his Batman.
I think, he doesn't like it either, but I think that was bringing back some of the camp of the what is it? The
I got one word.
60s.
I got one word. Nipples.
You don't like the nipples?
Somebody said, let's put nipples on the bat suit. And somebody said, hey, that's a good idea. Let's do it.
Let's put nipples on the bat suit.
Yeah. So your number 6 is Val Kilmer.
Yes, Val Kilmer.
Mine, I know what my number 6 is Kristen Bale. But why did you put Val Kilmer at number 6?
Why? I think that's just where he fell when I was doing my top 5.
Okay, so I made Val Kilmer my number 2.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why. Because Val Kilmer had one of the best Bruce Wayne Batman transitions out of his whole list. One of the best. His Bruce Wayne Batman transition, because he was the lofty playboy that you would never think would be Batman.
And maybe that's because Val Kilmer, he also played the Saint, right?
Did he?
I think he did.
No, wasn't that Pierce Brosnan?
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I thought he did a movie.
Val Kilmer did do the Saint.
He should have done 2 Batmans. Val
Yes,
Kilmer.
I agree,
and I guess he just did the one.
Yeah, I agree.
And maybe that's
Batman's.
Well, didn't George Clooney just did the one too, right?
Yeah,
he
almost did the one.
He almost killed the franchise, but hey.
Michael Keaton did too, and Ben Affleck made 2 appearances as Batman. Just no single movie.
He didn't have his own movie though.
Yeah, he didn't have his own movie.
He was just in in other movies. But listen, before we talk more about our favorite is it Batman? Batman playing the Batman. Let's just take a minute to do what I do at the halfway point.
Why don't you do what you do at the halfway point?
I'll do what I do at the halfway point. Which is to thank all of you guys for hanging out with us on a Saturday night. It's Kathy and Kenny. We explain pop culture. Tonight, it's all about the Batman. Why the Batman? Anyway, Batman and the actors who play Batman. But we thank you for tuning in that same bat time, same bat channel to watch Kathy and Kitty explain pop culture. And thank you so much for your support. Make sure you click that like button, subscribe if you're following us on YouTube, or if you're following the page on Facebook to like it. You can support the show by buying us a coffee. You can also support Kenny by checking out some of the links in our description for his endeavor, Words Out Productions, a spoken word artist, and check out his video that's hit over 12,000 views. So we want to keep that going. But again, Kenny is a part of Words Out Productions. So if you're in the Philadelphia, South Jersey area, check that out. Since I did that graphic, I got to show it. So
yeah, well, I appreciate you showing it.
So hey, we do it. Let's see what's going on in the comments before we go back down to some of our favorite Batmen and actors who've donned the cowl and the bat suit. Nobody is better than Adam West. I would agree. And when we get to the list, Val Kilmer should have did 2 Batmans. And I guess Michael Keaton and Adam West are the best. See, I would be agreeing with you, huh?
We're the best. And just for you guys to know, in the next Flash movie.
Oh wait, maybe that.
The next Flash, the Flash for the Justice League is doing a solo movie. Michael Keaton will be returning as Batman in that movie.
Oh, get out of here!
Okay, I'm going.
No, I mean, okay. I didn't know that. That's weird.
If I'm blind, I'm flying. You don't see no wings. Yeah.
Okay, because I thought I saw a picture with Michael Keaton and the Flash, and I'm like, wait, those are because Michael Keaton was a part of the Marvel universe, wasn't he? Because he was
the Vulture in the last Spider-Man in one of the Spider-Man movies. But yes.
Well. Okay, he would, because he was the girl.
Was Batman back in the day, so he's going to be an older Batman.
Okay, he's going to be older
Batman. Yes.
Okay. All right. For some reason,
that's why I don't like the Kristen Bale one, because that one Batman quit. Batman don't quit. Batman don't quit.
Batman don't quit.
Okay. Next comment is Michael.
See, I can't see all the comments because
Dion didn't Val Kilmer had filming conflicts.
Oh, okay. And for some reason, I can't pull up the next comment.
My friend Thomas D. Jr. says, "You two are really cool." Thank you, Dave. Thank you for telling us that. You two are really cool.
All right, let's check it out. And the second Batman that Keaton did was great because this character was set in the first Batman. So you need to do, I guess, at least two Batmans to get your feet wet. But now Ben Affleck just did the movie with Superman and then the Justice League movie, correct? Mm-hmm. But now, does that count as 3? Because actually there were 2 Justice League movies. There was the Josh Whedon one that everybody hated, but I enjoyed. And then the
trash one and the Snyder one that was worth the while.
I'm sorry, the Josh Whedon one though was, I mean, to me it worked for the masses because you go to the movie, you want to have action, you want to have thrills, you want to have laughs. I need all of that. I just don't need dark, depressing, Saw / 7 type clues that again didn't give me a satisfying payoff, for the Batman, And I'm not saying I need Gwyneth Paltrow's head in a box, but I needed something more. I'm sorry.
Okay. We have a question down there by Thomas D. Jr.
Okay, yeah. What's the question?
Yes, Batman did die in the comics.
And when I was reading one of the books, I also was reading about Robin, and there was one graphic that was just like, oh my gosh, like Robin all bloody, and
that wasn't Dick Grayson. That Robin was he wound up coming back to life and being the Red Hood. That was Jason Todd. He was a Robin after Dick Grayson, and he was kind of like a bad boy off the streets that Batman turned into a Robin. But he thought he could go head to head with the Joker, and Joker killed him with a crowbar.
Oh, you know what? Another spoil. I'm sorry. I need something.
That was in the comic.
No. I'm about to do a spoiler alert. So I just wanted to preface it with that. So if you need to turn down the TV, was that kid at the beginning that was part of that gang that looked like the Joker gang? Is that kid set to become a Robin?
No.
Okay.
No, that kid was not set to be Robin, but
because that's what I was thinking when I first saw that kid.
No,
and if you haven't seen the movie, it's early on.
That kid is actually the same actor. Titans is a TV show on HBO, which has Robin all grown up in the Nightwing. But that kid in that movie is actually an actor that in the Titans show plays the next Robin.
Oh, okay. So that was like an inside joke or not inside joke, but that was like an Easter egg for diehard Batman fans.
Yeah. He's Tim Drake.
Okay.
But
is there another Easter egg you can give us that won't spoil the movie for folks?
I got
something to look for.
I've only seen it once. I got to think about it. But going back to Thomas D. Jr.'s question, Batman did die at one point. A couple times they say he died, but didn't. At one point, there was a big DC crossover thing, and they were fighting Darkseid, the Justice League villain, and Batman went toe-to-toe with Darkseid on his own because that's how bad that Batman is. He'll go toe-to-toe with the most powerful guy. And Darkseid actually won in one cartoon animation, because DC does do better animation than Marvel. Darkseid actually said, of all the heroes, I'm more scared of you because you're the one that will go through anything to win, and you'll actually try to kill me when other heroes will just try to subdue me. So anyway, Batman went to Darkseid with toe-to-toe, got hit with an Omega Beam, and everybody thought he was dead, but he actually got sent back in time. So he fought his way, some kind of way, he fought his way through time and came back. But while everybody thought he was dead, Dick Grayson became Batman, and Batman's son, Damian Wayne, became Robin. And it was so that's what it was.
And it seems like I'm the only one who likes the Josh Whedon version.
Yeah,
that's because I'm a diehard Buffy fan. But Snyder gets the vote. And
Snyder definitely
we could say Snyder's version is better, Ed, and that's perfectly okay to say. But saying Kenny is right just opens the door for all kind of, just bad stuff. So now, oops. Oh, wait. I was on the slap when I should have did the...
Oh, you know what? We forgot. Ed's number 6. Ed's number 6 was George Clooney, and Ed's number 5 was Val Kilmer.
Ah, okay.
Okay, now your number 4 was Pattinson, and Ed's number 4 was Kristen Bell.
And here he is in his he's got the bat suit on, but he's still got that emo thing going. It's just like Bruce Wayne is emo. I can't get that out of my head now.
Because my number 4 was Michael Keaton.
And your number 4 was Michael Keaton.
Yes. Now the reason my number 4 was Michael Keaton was because I liked Michael Keaton as Batman. I liked him as Bruce Wayne. However, his Bruce Wayne walked around being a detective most of the time and acting like Batman. Like, I need a Bruce Wayne that's going to act like a playboy, that's going to do like a Zorro type thing where you don't know he's really a macho type guy. Kristen Bell did that pretty good. Val Kilmer did that better.
So Christian Bale and Val Kilmer were better Bruce Waynes than Batman's.
Yeah.
Okay. I can. Okay, I can feel that. I got you.
But your number 4 was Pattinson. Now? Why is your number 4 Pattinson?
You know what? Because even though the movie as a whole, I wasn't terribly. Again, I'm pulling the Batman kind of out of the movie, so that just as far as him playing that role, Batman, I think he did a good job, an admirable job. I wanted to see, and this is probably on the part of the writers, the directors, everything that went into the movie. I wanted to see more of Bruce Wayne than the Batman. But as far as filling out the suit, I think he did a good job with it. And as Batman, I guess I wasn't. Let's see. I wasn't expecting a lot, or I was kind of thinking, oh, he's probably going to be kind of awful. And again, all I got to go on is those like cheesy Twilight movies, which, don't get me wrong, read the books, love the movies, but I wasn't sure what to really expect, and I wasn't expecting much, but I think I got more than what I expected, which is why I ranked him a little higher, because even though I found fault with some of the plot line, the storytelling, and I get him supposed to be, the greatest detective. I just think that movie had about three different false endings, and also I needed more of a twist for the revelation at the end. I wanted to know how that character, which was the Riddler, and again, okay, just how. I guess I didn't really see how it impacted him. I needed more of a twist, and I think something that really related to that particular person rather than him just. I don't want to give too much of away, but I guess I was hoping for more of a twist. I didn't get it, and that's probably what let me down. But as far as Robert Pattinson in that role, I thought he was very believable as the Batman, and I thought, right, I was not disappointed. I thought he handled it well. I didn't see nipples, but he could have worn nipples. It wouldn't have made a difference because he gave such a strong performance.
Now, in that movie with Pattinson, I will say one of the things that all the Batman movies, one of the things that makes all the Batman movies worthwhile, and any superhero movie at all, is the villain. Paul Dano, who played the Riddler, I thought that was an Academy Award nominated performance. I thought his crazy performance as the Riddler, I think he should get an Academy Award for that. That was off the chain. Come on. Really?
I mean, okay, so first of all, Paul Dano, and Ed could probably give us his bio, but isn't that like his thing, playing that kind of, anyway, playing the crazy guy, the sociopath? Yeah. So I don't know. Was it that great a performance? I really don't think so.
I think all the actors came with the A game.
I think definitely A game. I love Jeffrey Wright.
Colin Farrell in that Penguin.
Oh, I'm sorry?
The Penguin was Colin Farrell.
I know. I'm like, what the heck? That's a lot of prosthetics. I hope.
And Jeffrey Wright has to be the best Commissioner Gordon I've ever seen, period.
I enjoyed Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon. I really did.
Commissioner Gordon. Peter Sarsgaard as Gil Coulson. What's how you say his last name? Sarsgaard.
I think
He's a
so.
solid star. He's been on a lot of different things. You've
Oh
seen
yeah,
him
yeah.
everywhere. Andy Serkis as Alfred was good. Um,
And there were some people who weren't sure about him because are, aren't most of the roles he's played been kind of comedic or like not
a lot of
really,
roles he's played have been like comedic of villains.
or
He's a big
yeah,
Marvel villain.
playing the bad guy.
Yeah.
Um,
Zoe Kravitz, of course, as Selena Kyle was
yeah.
great. Her performance was good. Her performance was good. I was more impressed with Paul Dano's performance and Jeffrey Wright's performance in this movie.
Jeffrey Wright, I thought did an excellent job. Paul Dano, I really wasn't convinced, and maybe that was just because I had problems with that particular character and his motivation. And again, I was hoping that would be part of a, a more twisty ending plot because again, you've held me hostage in this theater for the first time in 2 years, and you know, sat me through 3 hours of movie and
With overpriced snacks and everything else.
exactly. And my payoff just
Okay, so Ed's number 3.
I'm just saying, I probably what's coming out Memorial Day, because that's probably going to be worth it if you haven't gone to the theater yet. And I know some people have, and again, for me, that was my first time. I'm kind of kicking myself because I wish I seen a movie like. Actually, my theater. You know what was also playing that day?
What?
That I could have went and saw, and I was spent 3 hours in the Batman. Casablanca on the
You've
big
seen that before,
screen.
though.
What?
You've seen that before.
But not on the big screen. There's something about seeing those movies on the big screen. I'm just telling you,
Go back
it's
to the list. Ed's number 3 was Michael Keaton.
so Michael Keaton for him.
And
How about
Kathy's number 3 was Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck? Yes.
And my number 3 was Adam West.
Adam West, he should have been higher up, man.
No, my number 3 was Adam West.
Because if you hadn't had Adam West and the campy Batman, you wouldn't have had all these other Batmen out there floating
I should
around.
have put Adam West as my number 3, as my number 2, and made my number 3 my number 2, my number 3.
Okay.
My number 2 is Val Kilmer.
All right.
And your number 2 was Michael Keaton, and Ed's number 2 was Ben Affleck.
And
so, and Adam West, the reason I put Adam West is Adam West was the guy in the '60s who everybody started from, and he did have a great Bruce Wayne Batman transition. And even though he might have told like a tongue-in-cheek dad joke on the show, because that's what he did, he told very tongue-in-cheek dad jokes. He didn't do what George Clooney did. He didn't smile while he was in the Bat costume.
Okay? It's like there's no smiling in the Bat suit.
There's no smiling in the Bat costume. Okay,
Batman
might do a smirk because he's smarter than everybody else in the room, but there's no smiling. There's
no smile when you're wearing the Bat cowl.
No, there's no cheese on smile. There's no laugh. There's no nothing in the Bat costume. Okay, you do a smirk like this, like because you're smarter than everybody in the room, but you don't full on cheese smile. No. You'll get a pretty boy.
You don't get to show your
smile,
pearly whites in the Bat suit.
That's not what it's kicking.
It's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
I
my
get
number 2, of course, was Val Kilmer. Your number 2 was Michael Keaton. Ed's number 2 was Ben Affleck. Val Kilmer played the. I put him so high because he played the Bruce Wayne part so well. Like you watched him hit on girls, bring dates to different things. So I was just reading Steve's comment. But no, so I liked his. See, for me, you have had a nice transition from Bruce Wayne to Batman and everything else. Steve's comment. My number 1 Batman was Ben Affleck. Your number 1 was Adam West, and Ed's number 1 was Adam West. Now I think Ben Affleck, because Adam West was kind of campy, but the thing about Ben
Yeah.
Affleck is he was a guy who was emotionally scarred, and you saw the emotional scars in his character. He also did a great Bruce Wayne, where he was kind of like aloof, like Bruce Wayne. He went out functions. I think there was one scene you saw Bruce Wayne in bed with a random girl or chick or something laying there. That's the Playboy Bruce Wayne. He's got to come home with something. He's got to come home with something. So, so I think Ben Affleck did the perfect Batman Bruce Wayne transition. He even looked the part, he talked the part, he acted the part. You saw a lot of that more, not in the Josh Whedon Justice League, but in the Snyderverse Justice League.
Mhm.
You saw the way Snyder, you saw him be Batman. Even in Superman versus Batman, you saw him be a detective. You saw him figure out who the Flash was. He figured out, how to find Aquaman. He figured out who Wonder Woman was. Put everybody together. But I'm not really a team player, but I'm gonna bring everybody together. Hey, Archer. Archer. Hey, Archer's in the room. And man, I'm a little salty. You did the whole Batman thing. You didn't call me to come on the show. We gotta talk about that because I got feelings. I feel a certain kind of way about that, brother.
Well, like I said, after I watched the movie, I did watch that Hey Archer episode with Aaron Waller and oh God, I forgot the other guy who was on there. You could tell us in the comments or even put a link. But that was a good episode, and they were like kind of breaking some of the things down. Some I agree with, some I didn't. But like I said, 3 hours was a long time, and the payoff wasn't to me worth it. But
I want to say something. That Hey Archer, if you're listening, that you would get. Hey Archer, did you get the reporter last name is Elliot, and the fact that they put Hush across the screen? Did you? Was I the only person in the theater that got that, or did you get that too? But Sal was the other guy apparently. But yeah, at one point they were talking about this reporter who had information on Bruce Wayne's dad, and his last name was Elliot. And there's a character in comic books named Thomas Elliot was friends with Batman when he was a kid and grew up to be a Batman nemesis called Hush. And at one point on the screen they put Hush. It goes Hush, and
wait, that flashed up on the screen.
they flashed the word Hush on the screen when they were talking about Bruce Wayne's mom. So, and I said, wait a minute, the Riddler's going to wind up being Thomas Elliot. Hush. And he wasn't, but
So that was another Easter egg. And
Yep.
see, that's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for the Riddler's connection with like Arca Solomon or with that whole storyline. Like, because they were taking you all the way up to this point, and I didn't see where he was, how it impacted him. That's what I was waiting for. What was the impact? And I figured, well, wait a minute. If I had read the comic books, I would know, which is why I was delving into these books to try to see if I could figure it out, to see what the impact, why him? Why was he doing this? What, I mean,
what
was his motivation besides being like, insane?
Had he been the son of the reporter that was, who died and he was sent to the orphanage and his name has been Thomas Elliot, then, and like Hey Archer says, because he knows the comic, he says too soon for Hush. It was too soon for Hush, but we did talk about that in the Hey Archer episode. And it is too soon for Hush. Because that's a whole nother animal. When you bring out Hush, you're talking about, Jason Todd and everything else, and a lot of different other things going on. But yeah, when I caught on to that Hush tidbit, and hey Archer, did you know that actor in the beginning sequence is the same actor that plays Tim Drake in the Titans TV show on HBO?
Actually, I think on that episode of Hey Archer, they did talk about that, because I know Hey Archer is deep into the put my Batman books up here, are deep into the Titans, and
yeah.
That's beyond my level of nerddom.
Yeah. Well, nerds are in.
I
Nerds
know.
are in.
Hey, nerds are where it's at, but my level of nerddom kind of, extends more to music than movies. But all in all, with the Batman, I don't know. I kind of wish I had broken my 2-year pandemic movie ban. I almost wish I had broken it with the Spider-Man movie because I still haven't seen that.
That's
So
good.
I think it's still playing, so I can still go check that out. Because I think it would have been a little lighter. But The Dark Knight was definitely, again, dark, not just in theme and things that were going on, but just like I said, in the lighting. I needed to be able to see
Well,
some
I
stuff.
will say,
I get being in the shadows, but just a little too dark. Dark Knight.
I think this movie has.
I needed a key light, a fill light.
I think this. I mean, Christopher Nolan and Kristen Bale already used the term Dark Knight in their movie. But this movie is more fitting for the Dark Knight title because this movie is better than all three of Christopher Nolan's movies because Christopher Nolan didn't even follow Batman myth or lore at all. So he wanted to do his own thing. And this followed the comic book a little bit closer, even though you had some, Commissioner Gordon was a black guy, Catwoman was a black woman, but you still had the same kind of, thing on there. And I think, the Riddler wasn't Edward because the Riddler's name in the comic books is Edward Enigma.
Mm-hmm.
Enigma, like Enigma,
Right.
And his name wasn't Enigma in this one, but we still got the gist of what who he was and who the Riddler is. And the Riddler is not this clown guy, not this clown guy who runs around telling riddles in a riddled suit, like Jim Carrey was.
Riddle me this.
Even like Gershwin was, or what's his name from the '60s? He wasn't this guy who just told riddles and laughed. And I think this movie.
Now, where do you stand on the riddles or the I guess the material of the Batman movie being more like something the Joker would do as opposed to the Riddler?
What do you mean? This movie here was more like something the Joker would do?
Well, I'm just asking, was it more, because even with the laugh and the stuff he was doing.
Yeah, this is the Joker. I think in this movie, if they did the Joker would have been a lot more deadlier.
Mm-hmm.
The Joker is crazy.
So now, was that him at the end?
Joker is so crazy.
Was that the Joker at the end?
He will kill you for no reason at all.
Okay.
That's who the Joker is. The Joker is that guy that will kill you for no reason at all.
Another spoiler alert. So the dude at the end he was talking to, was that the Joker?
Supposedly.
And the one thing you did, the one thing I did do too, and I know you're supposed to put the phones away in the theater, but like I said, there were only like 8 people all total in the theater, and matinee, that's the way to go if you're inching back post-pandemic, or actually people are saying we're post-pandemic, but are we really? Because anyway, I'm still going to be having my mask on, especially around you folks. I don't know shots or not. Anyway, I was texting you because I'm like, hey, do I have to wait till the end? Because I kind of like those little scenes at the end of the credits, but DC doesn't do that.
Yeah, DC's done it a few times, but Marvel does it more. You don't have to. You can wait to the end because there's something that does flash up. If you blink, you'll miss it, and it's not really that big.
What was it?
And I blinked, and I missed what flashed up. There's something that's like a website that flashes up for you to go visit, but I don't stay. You don't have to stay till the end.
Okay. So Spider-Man is on digital on the 15th. Oh wait. Oh, it's the 12th. But the 15th will be coming soon because we fall forward tonight.
Is Spider-Man going to be on Disney?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how the releases are coming, but they're actually still showing Spider-Man in the theater in Mooresville. So I might go
Really?
see it in the reclining seats because they just flashed up the website from the movie. Oh, he's just saying hi to Scooby. Scooby Life. Oh man, Kitty, we're at that time. We're at that hour, and we have gone through our list of our favorite Batmans A to Z, or actually 1 to 7, because those are the ones we focused on for the most part. And where you're saying the best Batman of all time is Ben Affleck, you're going with that.
Yeah, I'm going with that. I'm
Okay.
gonna die on that hill.
You're going to die on the Ben Affleck hill. And hey, all right, I'm going old school. I think I'm with Ed. We're Adam West because he was the best. He was Adam West, the best. He was the first Batman. So that's the first Batman I knew. So all these other iterations and variations.
Well,
Yeah,
actually,
I like them. And like I said, I didn't think Pattinson was a bad Batman. I wanted to see a little more Bruce Wayne. That's just me.
I think if they do another,
I don't like the emo Bruce Wayne. That's for sure.
I think if they do another one.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me get my hair in my face.
You know, another guy who's dressed up as Batman for the camera.
Sorry, I got to do my Pattinson imitation.
Archer, am I saying that right? David Mazouz, who was Bruce Wayne on the series Gotham. The last episode, he put on the Batman costume and everything.
We talked. I think you talked about Kevin Conroy earlier.
And Kevin Conroy. No, we didn't do the voice actors. Kevin Conroy is one of the most popular voice actors that's ever done Batman. So he's on that Batman list. Also, the latest.
But that's wrong.
The newest person to play Batman is oh man, it's a very popular actor. Is it because there's a movie coming out called Super Pets, and all the pets are the superheroes, and the pet of
a cartoon.
Yeah, it's a cartoon, and the pet of Batman. Well,
actually, this book actually broke down like the whole Bat family.
Yes.
There was,
Yes, the Bat family is a great thing. There's
maybe it's in the other book.
Robins.
This one you're gonna like because it actually has the full for the different milestone issues of Batman. It actually has a full comic in here. But this book actually has this one actually has some of the the facts about it and
I'm gonna love
the history. I'm
book
sorry, what? I'm sorry, Loser says what?
Huh?
Loser says huh?
No, I'm gonna love that book.
All right, but the book stays here. But this one is pretty cool. Oh gosh, they do a whole feature on the Justice League.
I can't take a book with me when I come.
No, you can't take my book with you. That's not going to happen. You can look at my book, but yeah, again, my thing is, oh my gosh, a whole page on gadgets. I love me some gadgets.
Let me see the front of that book. I'm gonna see if they got it in my alleys around here.
The World of the Dark Knight.
I'm gonna see if they have it in my alley. I'll get my own damn book.
No, if you come, you can have it. I was just gonna.
No, I get my own book.
I was gonna just wrap it up and give it to you as a gift anyway. So.
No, you ain't gotta do all that.
All right, I will. Oh, speaking of. Hush.
Yep, Hush. And that's what they were going to interview. That's what they were going to introduce. Hush.
Speaking of which, so yeah, this. This was where I was reading about Robin's death. But again, this was part of my research this weekend.
I was a guy when they killed Robin back in the 80s. They had a poll. You had to call in and vote on whether you wanted to live or die. And I called in and voted.
You called in?
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. Not mad at you. I actually was part of the Kickstarter to bring Veronica Mars to the movie screen. So
Wow.
Hey, I mean, we're nerds. What can we do? What can we do? You know what we need to do? We need to end this show.
Yes, we do.
We do.
We're way over our time.
We are over time. You know what? I can't play your voice message because the phone is in the other room and I don't have it with me. I'm sorry. I didn't bring the phone. I didn't even bring the phone in the room. I'm sorry about that, Ed. I was slacking. It's spring break. I'm not on my game. Anyway, Kenny, before we go, once again, top picks, my top 3 were Ben Affleck, Michael Keaton, Adam West. Your top 3, Adam West, Val Kilmer, and Ben Affleck. And Ed's top 3 were Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck, Adam West. So we're all pretty much in agreement that Pattinson doesn't come in the top 3. Neither does George Clooney.
And Adam West.
And neither does Christian Bale.
Adam West makes everybody's top 3. And Ben Affleck makes everybody's top 3.
So there you go.
So there you go.
And
George Clooney makes nobody's top anything.
Nobody's top anything.
Sorry, George. I did like you in One Fine Day, though.
Okay. He's a fan of One Fine Day. Also ER and The Facts of Life, which, come on, let's face it, that's some of your best work, dude. Hey, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us, you pop culture kids. We appreciate you so much. Don't forget to give us that thumbs up, hit subscribe. We will see you here next Saturday. Next week.
We don't know what we're talking about.
We have no idea.
But we're going to think about it tomorrow. We're going to let you know. And next week we'll be back. Same bat time. Same bat channel.
We're out of here.
Hey. Oh, here you go.
Don't forget.
Stay tuned next week when we find out. Will Kenny find his headphones? Will Kathy get over the concession stand prices? What will the temperature be in either state? Find out here next week. Same bad time. Same bad channel.
Hey, don't forget to move your clocks up, spring forward. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Back, spring forward. God bless your soul and keep living. Bye.
Thank you for geeking out with Kathy and Kenny on Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture.